Welcome to Homemade Sessions, where we explore and research entrepreneurs making waves across their different industries.
There you go.
We got it. We're official. We're recording. I love it. Thanks. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Technical difficulties, but we'll get it right. We'll get it right. So definitely want to officially introduce you to the podcast. So the pod is the Homemade Podcast. It's called Homemade Sessions. And we talk to folks who are making waves in their industry, whether it be entrepreneurs or real estate folks. We just talk to folks who are doing big things in their different industries. So definitely wanted to talk to you. Now officially the head of agent development for Compass. I wanted to jump in and just kind of talk a little bit about your backstory, because
Sure.
you talk about what you're doing today, and you're usually the one asking folks questions. So it's cool to be on the other side. But so how'd you get into real estate? Like, just walk us back to how it got started.
Yeah, well, hey, thank you for having me on, and I love your taste in barber, and your taste in whoever buys your t-shirts. Is just brilliant. So everyone on the call knows, if you're listening, we're both bald and we both are wearing black t-shirts. So it's going to be a really fun session we're going to do today. But John, thanks so much for having me on. I'm definitely humbled and honored to be here. And to give you a quick little background, I grew up, when I was growing up in every kid thinks about what they're going to be. I always knew I was going to be a teacher, and I knew that from a very early age. It's really all I wanted to do was be a high school history teacher. And I went to college, went to Syracuse University, graduated from there with my undergrad and master's, got a great job at Haverford High School here in PA, right outside the Philadelphia city of Philadelphia in the suburbs, and pretty quickly realized how poor I was. So
welcome to the Interact.
So I knew I was poor. I was always a poor college kid, and we were in poor before that. But then you get a job and you're finally like, yes, I'm going to make money. And you're like, no, I'm poor again. And the reality is, like, I needed a side hustle, and I coached ninth grade girls softball, which I've never coached softball. I was an athlete, but I never played softball. I didn't know anything. I barely knew how the rules, etc. But you make a little money there. You did coverages in school, but I was piecing it together. Right. And I always remember having a conversation with a guy named Bill Curry, and it was parent teacher night. Afterwards, we all went out to a bar. It was October of 2021 or 2001. I apologize, really long time ago. And he said, he's like, well, if I could go back and do it all over again, I'd get my real estate license, sell real estate part-time, and teach full-time. So the next morning I go into my classroom, I Google, real estate schools. I find Poly Associates in Newtown Square, which is like 20 minutes down the road. Yeah. And I sign up for my real estate license, and I bang it out in 4 weekends, and I'm a realtor. That was it.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So it just literally came from that. That's so dope. So how far was that, like the beginning of your, like, what was that, a couple of years into teaching, or like?
Yeah, it was the beginning of my second year. And then I finally got my license. Like, it took me a little while to sign up for the courses. Once I signed up, you had 2 weekends, and then there was a break, and then another 2 weekends. So a total of 4 weekends. And I got licensed in May of 2002. Is when I got my real estate license.
That's cool. So you started practicing then, or doing part-time at least. How was 2008 for you guys? So, like, when did you pull the Band-Aid and say, hey, this isn't just a part-time thing, I'm doing this full-time? And then how was it going through, hey, recession time? Like, it's real.
Yeah. Well, so I did both for 3 years, because I worked my entire life to become a teacher. And when you're poor, all you crave is stability. And I spent, I had lots of scholarships, but I had personal loans for Syracuse, and I went to this great school to learn how to be a teacher. And then I'm debating leaving it all behind to sell houses.
Wow.
100% commission. So it took me about 3 years to get to the point where I knew it was not just a a flash in the pants and like,
It
a
wasn't a
stroke of
sign.
luck, like the
Yeah.
market was good and it'll go away.
Hell yeah.
And so I went full time in June of '05. It was my last like class that I sort of saw through high
Wow.
school, and I went full time in June of '05. And then things are going great, right?
Yeah.
I'm making
Yeah.
money and I'm hustling,
It's a
and
hot
then
market.
everyone on this call that was not selling real estate prior to 2008, like getting a mortgage was like, almost like signing up for a credit card in college and getting the free towel or the free movie ticket.
Legit. Yep. Yep. I
It
love it.
literally was that easy.
Yep.
And 100% financing. I remember I was getting people into houses for like $100 or $200 out of their pocket.
Jesus
Right, because
Christ.
100% financing, max out assist,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
was a whole different world. None of us really knew we were building a house on cards, but that's what happened. The whole thing
Right.
collapsed.
Right.
And
Right.
I'll always remember, I think it was October of '08 was the first month where I never sold a house. Like didn't
Yeah.
put anything under contract.
Yep.
Really, the world was ending, right? I mean,
Right. Right.
Lehman Brothers was going out of business. Like, you were sitting at a closing table, you weren't sure if the loan was going to fund or not,
Right.
right?
Right.
You had no idea what was going on, and it was just a really, really interesting time for him to go through. And I remember, there's those couple of moments of fear that hit you, but then very quickly, it was also this moment of opportunity because of the fact that
Yeah.
we had, at that time, they passed the first time home buyer credit.
Yep.
And this was actually an $8,000 credit if you were a first time home buyer to buy a home. And the timing of that was really good for me because most of the people I was working with were first time home buyers.
Cool.
And it was sort of this like injection in the arm of like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
And every agent that survived 2008 and thrived in 2008 were the ones that sort of did not pay attention to the news. You didn't pay attention to the people that were talking about how bad it was. What you did is you put your nose down and you worked and you worked and you sat open houses and you dug and you found the opportunities that existed. And I think 2008 is a year I look back as one of the defining moments of my career where the easiness of selling real estate of the previous years was erased. And the reality is this was the first time I started treating it like a business,
Gotcha.
treating it like, like a routine where I had to wake up every single morning. And I always worked really hard. I always was running really hard.
Yeah.
But 2008 was the first time where I was like, all right, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah. We're from the Northeast, so we curse a lot. I try to I try to stop myself, but I can't help it. Like I just can't do it. So it's all good. Go, like do what you got to do. So that's so like important to me. So like what's that from Atomic Habits? Like we fall to the level of our systems. What is it like? We don't rise to the level of whatever, we fall to the level of our systems. Like I so much think that like, and I've almost taken a step back this year in like building my own team and really focus on the systems. And I love that you do so well in your business is like, you've got all these templates and all these things that you guys put together to help drive your business. Did you guys literally take off in 2008 instead of, or like, did you see after things kind of bottomed out that you started to go on your upward trajectory?
I wouldn't say I necessarily took off with it. I would say I got through 2008 a lot better than other people will say because of the fact that in some ways I already knew how to be poor. So I'm not saying I was, but
no sweat.
No sweat. And in some ways I operated without fear. Right. Yeah. And I think that's the kind of thing when, fear is not, it can be a good thing. It can be a sign that there's a big thing coming. And I think that's in essence what happened, right? Like I felt that initial fear. What the difference happens is what you do with it. And the people that feel fear and run or hide or cower, those are the ones that don't accomplish anything. And for me, I feel fear like any other normal human being. The difference that you need to think about is when you feel fear is a sign of something great coming.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
And then when you feel that fear, you realize that usually the other side of it is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whatever it might be, getting divorced,
Yeah.
getting married, having
Right.
kids,
Yep.
getting a new job, launching a new business. Like you think about these moments in your life when you felt fear, but then you think about the other side of that mountain, so to
Right.
speak.
Right. Right.
What was the experience once you climbed the mountain and got to the other side and saw over the hill?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So I actually
Yeah.
enjoy at this stage of my life when I feel fear because it means something big is coming.
Wow. Yeah, I like that. I love that. And most people look at it the opposite way. Like, I feel like I've got a lot of friends. So I came from corporate America. So I've got a lot of friends who are in real estate or got into real estate because it's like everything is great. Like these last 2 years, like I've got friends now who are like, I want to be a realtor. And I'm like, no, you don't want to be a realtor. Like, you really don't
Nah,
want to do this. Like
nah.
you saw what happened 2 years ago. But I feel like for you, I mean, like, or for anybody who can face that fear head on and accomplish and like get after it, like you said, it's like the sky's the limit, right?
It
Um,
is.
so what do you think, like, are those like success traits of those like truly top agents who, can face the fear and really overcome and become top of class? Because you see it, the gap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I think the first word that I'll give you three words that come to my mind.
Okay.
The first word is consistency.
Yep. Cool.
And the top agents all will do different things in different ways.
Okay.
But what they do is they do whatever it is consistently,
Got it. Got it.
whether
Okay.
it's, luxury, whether it's lead generation, whether it's marketing, whether it's fill in the blank. Like
Yep.
you go to a market and if you did a survey of the top agents, they all are different, but the
Uh-huh.
common trait most likely is consistency in effort of what they do.
Yep. Yep. Whatever facet. Got it.
You got it. So that's number one. The second thing is authenticity. Top agents know who they are,
Yeah. I
and
love that.
they don't buy into this comparison society that we live in, right? Because of the fact that they know who they are and they practice real estate authentically. Meaning, they when you operate in a world where you're trying to be someone you're not, you're never going to be successful
I like
ever.
that. I like it.
And
Yeah.
when you operate to who you are, and the people that know you and the people that interact with you feel that, and they're like, "This is who you are."
Yeah.
That's where you start combining. So now you take consistency, you add in authenticity,
I like
and
that.
the final thing that I would throw out there is providing value, right? Whoever provides the most value wins.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is also the compass story. If we were talking about
Absolutely.
real estate, right? You can go anywhere in the real estate industry and you're going to find 100% commission companies, capped commission models.
Yeah.
You'll see it across the board. But when you actually find a company that provides massive value, what you can accomplish there is 10 times what you can accomplish where all they're providing is a very high commission split,
Heck
right?
yeah. Yeah.
And the same applies to real estate agents with their clients. Like I can find 100 realtors in a marketplace that'll sell my house for the lowest possible commission.
Yeah.
I don't want those 100. I want the one who's going to actually generate a return on my investment, which is commission, in
I
order
love
to
that.
maximize what I'm doing. So I think three main things to think about as a top agent or to become a top agent are consistency, authenticity, and then providing value.
I
You
love
do
that.
those three things, and then you do it over and over and over. Once again, repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
Well,
You're going to be successful. I can't tell you what your business is going to look like, right? Because you're going to have different models that work for different people. But I can tell you almost definitely you're going to be viewed as a success in the eyes of people around you.
I love that. Because I feel like everybody has this, like, this very structured perspective of what's going to make a top realtor. I'm going to put on my button up shirt, I'm going to put on my loafers, and I'm good to go. I'm out. But, like, realistically, like, I mean, even for me, like I'm usually in a t-shirt, you know. I
Yeah.
might go to some listening appointments and I'm at open houses, of course, you know, buttoned up. But the reality is like you come to the table, you come to meet every client as your true authentic self. And like I don't know how many agents do that, but I mean,
Yeah.
for you, I feel like that's so clear in you guys' business. And it's crazy because I had lunch the other day and I said to some of the agents, I was with my title folks and I was with another agent from another brokerage. And I was like, oh, I'm supposed to talk to Skye tomorrow. They're like, oh, Skye? Oh, Skye. Everybody, oh, Skye, he's amazing, you know,
That's
like
awesome.
your
Yeah.
authentic self. That's so cool.
That's awesome. That's really cool, man. And I think too, it's like one of those things where I think our society is really becoming this comparison society where we find and social media, I think, is a big culprit of this, but comparison is a thief of joy. And the minute
Absolutely.
you find yourself comparing yourself to other people, especially based off a falsehood of social media and what's being presented on social media, is the minute that you're going to start creating structures of unhappiness, of failure, of I'm not good enough, fill
Right.
in the blank. And I think that's a really big thing and a really big trap that a lot of entrepreneurs and realtors especially fall into, is the fact that they look around them on social media, see these images,
Heck yeah.
which are frankly meaningless, and they get away from consistency, authenticity, providing value.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you coach your agents on getting over that? Because I know for me this year, like it's been, like I said, it's been taking a step back and I'm seeing all these like, I mean, we work at Compass. I'm seeing all these great agents closing all these big deals. And it's like, it's okay. Take a step back. Like, how do you coach them through? Like, it's probably been a tough year for a lot of agents this
Yeah.
year, you know, as we're normalizing and all those things.
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing is you got to go back into routine and structure, right?
Okay.
So the first step is you got to create a routine and a structure that you operate in. And this is where the consistency comes in.
Right. Right.
And in your routine, one of the things that you have to come back to is you got to practice the things like gratitude. You have to practice the things that are going to bring you joy. So whatever it might be. So if you're listening to this right now, I want you to think about what makes you happy for in real life, not in
Yeah.
this fake social media world.
Yeah.
Because the reality is agents are posting these things on social media, but you have no idea what the reality is. They're presenting a snapshot.
Yeah.
But that deal, maybe they gave up their commission because there was a mess up. Maybe there was an issue that they've been up every night for till midnight dealing with,
Do it.
etc.
Yeah.
Right? And at the end of the day, if you look at that and you say, man, I wish I was that person. I wish I
Yeah.
should.
Yep.
So keywords to pay attention to are I wish, I
Yeah.
should,
Got it.
I I should
Yeah.
be doing this. No, that those are all traps that you're setting for yourself. And the whole thing you got to come back to is you got to come back to a routine that builds happiness. First off, and we talk about this in 6
Yep.
Amers,
Absolutely.
what are you going to do that's healthy, selfish for you as an individual? And then what are you going to do that's healthy, selfish for you as a business? And the trap we fall into is we often fall into the important versus urgent trap, where we are always doing these things that are urgent, answering
Yeah.
emails, dropping off checks, putting up a lockbox, hang a sign,
Yep.
right? You can make a big list of urgent items that need to get done.
Yep.
But what we do is we make ourselves feel good because we're doing all this busy work or urgent work and we're avoiding the important stuff. Important stuff are things that don't need to happen. Nothing bad will happen if you don't do it. And it's easier to relate this on a personal level.
Yeah.
An
Absolutely.
example of important stuff versus urgent on a personal level. Important is going to work out for 30 minutes. Urgent is taking the trash out. Right?
I got you. Yep. Yep.
and we feel good. Hey, I took the trash out today. Like, that's great. Like, okay.
Cool.
Yeah. And if I don't work out for 30 minutes that day, nothing will happen.
Dude.
But then
Yep.
the next day I don't do it. And I'm going to find something else I need to fold the laundry.
Yep. Yep.
Once
exactly.
again, urgent, not important, you know?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's easy to understand this in the personal side, but then we relate it to the business side. Well, one of the most important things you can do as a business is you can create deep connections with the people you know. Well, that's important because those connections typically, there's usually not an immediate gratification given when you provide something of value to someone you know.
Right.
And it's important, but not
Down the
urgent.
road, yeah, but down the road, hey, that's what pays your bills. Yeah.
Boom. Down the road, when I work out, I'm going to be so healthy. I'm going to see my grandkids, my great grandkids.
Okay. I love
Down
it.
the road, when I reach out with items of value and I work on my database, work on my systems, work on the things that nothing bad is going to happen today if I don't do that.
Right.
But everything bad is going to happen in the future if I don't do that.
Right. Right. I love that. So if you were to break it down to, okay, there are two, three things that I do every day. So like for me, it's like you already said gratitudes, you already said gym, and I know you're like a health freak and thrill seeker like I am.
Yeah.
So like if I don't get up and go to the gym, like I was in the gym doing 6 a.m.ers this morning, like I don't feel right. Like I can't I, I I'm not mentally there
Yeah.
for the day
Yeah.
if I'm not in the gym for that day. Like what are your like, and it might be five things because that's two already: gratitude, gym. Like what are some of those other
Yeah.
things if you are a real estate agent you would say you should be doing every day?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is that you need to separate your personal from your business, right? Because
Got it.
I'll give you the first thing you should not do.
Okay.
If you're a real estate agent, the first thing you should not do is wake up and check your phone.
Cool. Yep. Absolutely.
The
It's hard.
minute you wake up and check your phone is the minute your day starts.
Right.
And it's so critical to make sure you put your oxygen mask on first, right? This is a
Yeah.
concept in the plane. Don't put
Totally.
it on your kid first, put it on you first so you're good. Then you can help your kid.
Yeah.
Well, real estate agents, what we do constantly is help everyone else, but avoid ourselves. So the first thing is we got to create a personal routine. And it's hard to give you, I'll give you mine, but I don't want to say to everyone on this call that this is what you should do because of the fact that it has to go back to you. So
Right.
for me, I have three things. I
Okay.
read, I meditate, I exercise.
Got it. Okay.
1, 2, 3. And the great thing about that is that I don't put anything really other than those parameters around that. You know,
Got
I
it.
don't say I need to read. If I read one page, cool, I read.
Check.
If
Yeah.
I meditate for 1 minute, check.
Cool.
If I go and I do 20 push-ups, check,
Check.
right?
Cool. Cool.
But the key
Yep.
thing is waking up and having that routine and that like sort of mental or physical checkbox where I can say check, check, check.
Yep.
All right, now let me turn on the phone.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, now when I turn the phone on though, I need to have the same mentality within my business.
Yeah.
What is the oxygen mask I can put on myself for my business? And I'll give
Got
you
it.
the three I would recommend for every agent. Number one, in this market especially, you need to know your local numbers. What's
Cool.
going on in your local market? Number two, you need to deepen the connections with people you know. And number three, you need to provide value to those people.
Yep.
Those are three things everyone should do every single day in their business. And if you remember, we just finished the first CMA Day 2-week challenge.
Yep.
The mindset is that if I spend 15 minutes knowing my numbers, deepening my connection and relationships, and providing value, and I do that in under 15 minutes, and I just do it once a day,
Right.
compounding effect, what is that going to be in my life and my business?
I love that. I love that. And I mean, I didn't do all the CMAs, but I got the few that I got out. I mean, I still got great. Like I've got one client who's chasing his house who the kid has made like over almost $200,000 in his house in like a couple of years. It's like crazy. And he's tracking it like constantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then another client who's like, hey, oh my God, it went up that much. Maybe I should sell. You
Yeah.
know, and it's crazy how much comes out of those little conversations.
That's right.
And that, I mean, that's huge. That's huge.
Well,
go ahead.
and John, let's actually let me flip the table for a second. Like,
Sure.
why did you not do it each day for under 15 minutes? Like, what got in the way of it?
Just honestly, just time. And then right now, I'm kind of doing, I've just got so much going on right now. It's become one of those times for me where it's like business, work, life, bills, it's just one of
Yeah.
those family times where everything is a little psycho. But I mean, 15 minutes a day, it doesn't, I honestly just wanted to power through all of them and then just send out the emails. Like I can do 15 of these, 14 of these for the 2 weeks, and then boom, done. You know,
And what you could do is you could also schedule them to go out. And this way, that email went out that day and it took you 0 minutes
right,
that day,
right,
but you did something important that day.
definitely. I love
And
it.
that's, I think, the thing I want to give you, the gift I can give you is that every
Appreciate it.
single day, if you do this, and for any agent listening to this call, if you do this, and it doesn't need to necessarily be that, right? But you could do
Yeah,
something similar. If every day you're not learning your local numbers, updating your database, and then connecting with people you're slowly taking backward steps in your business.
yeah.
You
I
don't,
like that.
you're going, you're, there's a really famous line, you're failing so slow that you don't even realize it.
Right, right. Yeah, and I mean, like we're both big fans of Atomic Habits. That's one of the books that we read in
Great
Six
book.
AMers, and it's what, 1% every day. 1%
1% every
every
day.
day. Look,
Yeah.
if I can get a little bit better every day, how much better will I be at the end of the year? And like you said, like it's just like a little thing that honestly, I could have knocked out all those CMAs.
Yeah,
You just don't. They fall by the wayside. It's
exactly.
one of those things. So as we talk about books, like you're reading every month, um, what do you have on the schedule for future books that we should read? And then what are some of the books that like resonate the most for you that we've done since 6 a.m. started?
So we're just this month coming up in September of 2022. We're going to be reading The Gap and the Gain. I
Okay,
can't wait to read this. I've heard
cool,
so many good things about this book.
cool.
So I'm very excited about that. As far as
Okay,
books, there's 3 books I usually recommend to people. The first one is Compound Effect.
love it.
And the compound effect is it's similar to Atomic Habits,
Yeah,
doing small things that compound over time. CMA a day. Doing
absolutely.
one CMA in one day will not have any impact on your business or your life.
Yeah,
But you do that every single day for a year, I can guarantee your business will be in a whole different place
yeah,
because it's the compounding effect. So compound effect is number one. I would probably argue Atomic Habits would be my second one
cool.
because of the fact that it reinforces a lot of what you're learning on compound effect.
Love it.
And then, I would probably recommend number 3, The Go Giver, which is all about providing value to people that you
Okay,
know
I like
and
that.
creating a business based around giving and based around love and kindness and generosity.
Got it.
Those are 3 really good reads that I
Okay.
would give everyone. So
Cool, cool. I haven't read The Go Giver, so I might have to throw it
really
in the
quick,
mix.
easy
Quick.
read, man.
Okay,
Really
cool,
quick and easy. So
cool. I'll throw that in there. I keep suggesting as one of my 6 a.m. suggestions, Think Like a Monk, if you haven't read that yet.
Jay
I mean,
Shetty, great. We did
I
read that.
love Jay. Okay, cool. I
Great
missed
book.
that month. I
It's all
missed that
good.
month.
Yeah. Hey, there's been a lot of them at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah. Right,
So,
right. I was there early. I was there early. But now you're starting 6 a.m.ers podcast. So
yeah.
what's to come with, can you talk about it? Like
Yeah.
what's to come with that, and when are we starting, and when can we tune in and all that good stuff?
Well, the best part about it is that the hard work of recording the actual episodes
You're doing.
is done, right?
Right.
Because it's just part of what we are normally doing. For
Absolutely.
everyone on this call that might be listening, the 6 Hammers is a morning achievement accountability group that was formed in April 2020 during the pandemic. And basically, it is a group that exists within Compass. We operate within Compass. You sign up every month, and we're really obsessed with how to be happier in our life and, how to build positivity in the morning and start your day in a way with community and positivity and fun and all the good stuff. So then when I go into my workday, I go in a better person.
Right.
So we've recorded hundreds of, recordings, and I was sitting on it, and, my mom or people outside of Compass are like, "Hey, can I listen?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me try to download this and email to you."
Right.
And finally, like, what am I doing? Like, we have all this really, really great stuff.
Amazing content,
We
right?
why we got to share this with people. So we're just about to launch season 1, and what we did, we went back and picked 24 of the episodes that were really powerful to start, and we recorded a little bit of a beginning and ending of it. Went out to LA, and they're still in the process of being edited. As of right now, you can actually go on to Apple or Spotify or any podcast hosting site, and you can hear the trailer as well. So I'll send you a little ink. And
can't wait.
yeah, 2 weeks. It's coming out in 2 weeks. So I'm very excited about it.
I'm super excited. And then when you're not doing everything at Compass and you're not, running around helping all the agents who are emailing you like, hey, can I do this? Can you do my podcast? What do you do in your free time? I know you have two little ones. How do you stay motivated and fresh on your own?
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I'll say, yeah, 2 amazing children, Mackenzie, who's 12, and Hudson, who's 10, and you're incredible. I would argue that I practice something I call being healthy selfish at a high degree. Healthy selfish means you do selfless things for yourself that are healthy. And so in my spare time, there's nothing I like better than being physical, like going to the gym, going for a run, being outside. It really fuels my soul, and which, once again, not everyone is like that, but that for me is like my happy place. Other things I love playing golf. I love socializing with people. I love, I have deep friendships and connections with my family, and I'm very, very selfish in protecting those and making sure that those are a major piece of my life.
I love that. I love that. It's so important. I'm trying to get better I have 2 little ones now, so I'm definitely trying to get better at like carving out time and making sure, especially like in our business, I can't even imagine like it's tough. It's tough. We're constantly running, and I'm like, all right, I got to carve out this time for these little folks.
John, another gift I'm going to give you. It's not hard.
Yeah, go for it.
It's easy.
Yeah.
As long as you practice it. And we got to recognize it's hard because we don't practice it.
Totally.
The more you practice it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
And the reality is you can't be all things to all people at all times. And when you try to do that, you stop practicing being happy. Happiness just doesn't happen out of the blue.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You got to practice it every single day. So when you wake up, your first thought is, how am I going to practice happiness today? And if that means I don't email someone back, if that means I don't, good example is our trying to do this podcast, right?
Yeah,
like, I said to you, like, it's going to be very difficult for me to give you time to go into the studio, et cetera. But if we can do it, great.
We made it work.
We got it done.
We made
exactly.
it work.
Exactly.
I love it. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate you. I know you're super busy. Are there any other gems for agents as we're going into this crazy environment? We're normalizing. Things seem like they're kind of chilling out a little bit right now. But any advice, anything else you want to leave folks with?
Challenge yourself to become healthy selfish in your life and healthy selfish in your business. And if every day you wake up and you practice this concept of doing things that are good for you, and it doesn't. When I say this, I'm not talking about hours and hours of it. I'm talking about very small amounts of time, but that has to happen first. You got to take care of yourself first, and if you don't take care of yourself first, you are slowly dying a slow death and failing a slow failure.
So real. Yeah.
And you have to take care of you, number one.
I love that. And I'm going to use Skye's, it's progress over perfection, right?
Always.
And look,
always.
Keep doing the work. We appreciate you always. And I can't wait for this to come out. I'm going to have to get my guys to chop and screw it, edit it up, and make it sound beautiful, because we know you deserve it. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Brother.
Yeah, I really appreciate you, John. I appreciate everything you're doing, all the positivity you're putting out there, all the effort and you're creating. So just keep at it, and progress over perfection every single day. and be healthy,
Hey.
selfish.
Hey, I love it. I love it. All right, brother. Peace.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.